Welcome to Black Women in Media. Oh my goodness, this is a new series from Girl Code Media where we sit down with Black women shaping the film, television, and digital landscape. So they are going to be both in front of and behind the camera.
Yes, ma'am. And these conversations are about inspiration, authenticity, and community because we're here to uplift, right? We're here to rise, not just one person, but all. So you'll hear stories from directors, writers, crew members, other creatives, just everybody that we can find that are changing the game and in real time. They're really doing it in real time.
Yeah, and our goal here is simple, right? It is to create space, share knowledge, and remind Black women everywhere that regardless of when you decide to be a part of this industry, there is space for you.
Always.
Please don't forget to like and subscribe and help the Girl Code Media, this small channel, grow. So, and look who we got. We have Destiny. Welcome, D. So happy to have you.
Thank you guys for having me. I'm really excited to be here. I love Girl Code Media anyway. So to be with you guys today, I'm really excited for what we're doing.
All right.
We're we're lucky to have you here, sis.
No, I enjoy the content that you guys make. So just being in conversation with you guys and seeing what you guys have flourished into, I think just being in great company like that is always great to have.
All right. Thank you so much.
Love.
You received that love, Naomi.
Bio?
Hmm.
Okay.
Let's give an introduction.
Yes. Thank you, Destiny, for being here with us. We welcome you to Black Women in Media, and we are thrilled to have you here. Destiny Cox, an incredible filmmaker, producer, and storyteller whose work challenges how we see history, displacement, and survival. Destiny crafts bold, thought provoking narratives that force us to look deeper at the world around us. As the director of You Were Dead Yesterday, she brings an unflinching lens to the intersections of environmental racism and systemic injustice. Her storytelling is deeply personal yet powerfully universal, drawing from both history and lived experiences to illuminate hidden truths. Her work is shaped by her academic research in African American history and politics, such as redlining, gen- gentrification, and systemic neglect. Whether in film or television, Destiny uses her platform to confront pressing social issues and invite audiences into crucial conversations. She co-founded WANO Studios and a production company committed to uplifting underrepresented voices and championing community-driven storytelling. Her expertise extends beyond filmmaking. She honed her skills in television production as a script coordinator at 6ABC WPVI TV studios here in Philadelphia and has worked in live event production, mastering the art of high quality, impactful storytelling. With You Were Dead Yesterday, Destiny cements herself as a filmmaker who pushes the boundaries of genre while keeping community and history at the heart of her work. Destiny, we are so honored to have you here today.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. All right, so let's just jump right in, right? Because
Okay.
Okay.
these conversations aren't going to be long, so we want to get as much of your gems as we possibly can. Um, I know that, as a filmmaker, I had my spark. So every filmmaker has that spark, that initial moment when storytelling grabs a hold of them, and they're like, this is where what I need to do. This is where I need to be. Can you
Mhm.
share a specific memory or experience that ignited your passion for filmmaking?
Oh, this is like one of the most um clear moments that I've had that I was like, oh, I need to do that. I was in college. I was in my junior year. I was studying political science at Rutgers University, and I had this clear idea. I was one of those people that knew from gate, I know exactly what I want to do. And I wanted to go into pre-law, and I did. And 3 years into it, did an internship at a law office with this black woman who was local, and she was absolutely awesome. And she helped me realize I do not want to do this. I was like, oh my God, I hate this. And she's like, I'm really glad you did an internship because you would have wasted a lot of money doing something you don't want to
Mm,
do. And that experience like was a clear awakening, but I also like was at a point of like, I don't know what I'm doing with my life. So I was really struggling, too late to turn back. Financial aid don't play that. And so I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to graduate and not have a plan. And then Campus Movie Festival, ironically, that same semester came up to me and like, hey, they're a festival that gives students all the material to make a film. I was like, no, I don't know. Then my friends and I, we went to the movies and we seen the film Get Out. And I was like, oh, I could do that. So it was taking the stuff that I learned in my classes in political science and using it, but not making it so obvious where it's like having Easter eggs to still educate people, still intrigue
mm,
people, still get people curious about what's in it. And that's what it did for me. And that was the first time I saw a film where I'm looking at conspiracy theories, which I'm a conspiracy theorist, love the theories that came along with it. And with that, I was like, oh, I could absolutely do that. And
Wow.
that's what got me into film.
mm.
Wow. Okay,
Yeah.
Jordan
And
Peele.
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
was such a huge moment.
Yeah.
I
that's
see
amazing.
all of it. Yeah, it was really it was scary because I was like, I've never considered this. I've only been on this one track.
Hmm.
And then seeing it, I was like, obviously filmmaking is really difficult and it takes a lot of work and a lot of collaboration, but I was like, oh, I absolutely can do that.
Yeah.
And I love the Easter egg part
Hmm.
because you're taking the audience on this journey
Hmm.
without putting everything in their face, right? You're allowing them to figure it out as they go along.
Hmm.
That's fantastic. Um, we collaborated with you
Hmm.
first during our production of Stages, where you were the director of photography. Thank you for
And
Hmm.
stepping in.
right, and
Oh, of
everything that
course,
could go
yeah.
wrong that
A
day.
wrong did. And thank you for being there to just catch us and go, I got y'all. So thank you for
No, of
that.
course, yeah.
What aspects, and now that you've definitely stepped into the director role full time, what aspects of directing do you find personally fulfilling? And how has that transition influenced your storytelling?
I think the thing I love about filmmaking is how collaborative it is.
Mhm.
So working with people who are passionate about the project is probably the most fulfilling because they're adding things in the in between that you can't plan for. So like the laughs that happen on set that you can't write because it's not as authentic and then you get it, is something that really makes it more powerful because now everybody's really collaborating in a sense that this is something that feels authentic. Um, I think seeing the script and then seeing it in person and seeing how that flows and it matches what I've created in my mind or seeing the shots that you just discover on set that
Mhm.
like, hey, this looks really interesting. We should kind of explore here and having that ability to explore is something that I really look forward to. And those are the moments that make me feel like I picked the right I picked the right job. And I'm sorry, I don't remember the second half of your question.
How has the transition from your transition into being a director, like that's your jammy jam.
Hmm.
How has that influenced your storytelling style?
Um, in the sense of making sure I cast people who can really bring the story to life. And then once I cast them, I let go of the role and trust them because I casted them and seeing what they bring to the story and what they think is authentic to that character. I think that's something that has elevated the story past what I'm capable of doing, is
Mm,
trusting the people that you cast, trusting the people that you hire on crew. And when they're authentic to their role, it elevates your project. So I think that for sure.
yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
mean,
Well said.
because so this is a great transition into your current project
Hmm.
because I was your AD
Hmm.
on You Were Dead Yesterday, and I saw firsthand how you really embodied directing actors.
Yeah.
Like I was so impressed. But
Yeah, thank you. Thank
um
you.
can you walk us through the journey of You Were Dead Yesterday from conception to completion? Like what inspired the story
Yeah.
and how did the vision evolve during production?
So I originally wrote You Were Dead Yesterday because I love zombie apocalypses as much as people say that they're so tired of it. I don't care. I love them. I'm so ready for one. And in making You Were Dead Yesterday and writing it, I really got the kind of the revelation of that I'm not seeing Black culture
Mm,
in zombie apocalypses, let alone like having an actual Black character that isn't a supporting character that turns into a main character, but that we're at the beginning in general. And that's like in films and TV shows and things like that. So I wanted to write one. And what's more Black cultural than having a zombie apocalypse in Philly?
mm,
So we had, the idea of having a Black family be from Philly, and what's turning people into zombies is a government conspiracy. And we took elements of history where we're using, oh, let's use the Tuskegee experiment. That
Mhm,
makes sense. And that's an American tragedy, but an American tragedy that focused on experimenting on Black people.
mm,
Um, and then using elements of Philly to make it could kind of center it. And we ended up exploring the idea of setting the house on fire and having that be symbolic to the Move project.
mhm,
And so there was so much that we explored with that when we had the script, we're like, okay, we have a really clear idea of how Black we want to make this lens. And once we got into casting, it was a little bit more difficult than I anticipated, being that the content, being the genre. So it could have, turned off, but we got a lot of female interests. But actually getting the grandfather that is into the story, that was really hard. Getting the main character, his name is Avery, a Black male, that was hard too, which kind of struck me as a surprise. But just as a sidebar, a lot of the content of interested actors, their reels were very violent and it was very like
mm,
crime focused. And maybe it's because that's what's in demand for work, but
mm,
that was kind of disappointing because there wasn't anything that was more curious,
mhm,
even in their monologues.
mhm.
So we ended up getting a full cast. Thank God. It was really great. I would not have picked anybody different than who we had.
Yeah.
And we were blessed to have a house that we could film in for 2 days, prepping and load out. And
And leaving the equipment there.
yeah, leaving the equipment there. Um, so with
wow.
having this large of a cast, I was like, because we had about a cast of like 10 people, including like extras and supporting actors. So I was on the idea of like, I want to be able to direct them without telling them, hey, be sad, because what does sad look like? So I went to acting classes and I just watched them. I just wanted to see what they do. And I had like 4 pages of notes of like, oh, this is what I should say, this is what I should say, this is how to redirect, this is how to give more, this is how to
Mm,
to lean back and not feed in. This is when to say, hey, let's work on this next week. Let's not beat a dead horse. And we had 5 weeks of classes on Zoom, or we had 5 weeks of whatchamacallit on Zoom.
Destiny, you're on mute.
you went on mute.
You went on mute.
You're back. Wait.
Wait. You're still on mute. There.
Sorry. Okay, sorry. I
Okay.
pressed the button and then it went away. But sorry. I did 5 weeks of Zoom rehearsals with cast,
Yeah.
and after every rehearsal, I sent them my feedback, and that was kind of like what worked. So every week they prepared with what I asked for, and by the time we got on set, it was fine.
It was magical.
Yeah,
It was magical. Yeah. Yeah.
That's
yeah,
amazing preparation um, that you did as the
yeah.
director to get ready for your actors. And speaking of representation and how voice is a powerful tool in storytelling, what advice or insights do you offer Black women, creatives who are striving to authentically tell stories and express their voices?
I would say you should absolutely interview everybody,
Mm,
and don't be afraid to be collaborative, but also be specific because specific is different than picky.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Better tell that.
it's so different because nobody's gonna look exactly like the character that you had in your mind that you crafted with a little bit of this person, a little bit of that person.
right.
But being specific to who can authentically be this character because the
Mm,
characters that I casted, and this is I love this story for there's a character, her name is Danielle, but originally we were looking for Daniel. And so the actress, shout out to Najesti Wilson,
mm,
when we were really struggling to find a black male actor for that role, and we just put out, we're looking for Daniel, ages 12 to 16, on different platforms, and she messaged us and she was like, "Hey, I see that you're looking for Daniel, but in case you're looking for Danielle, here's my stuff." And I was like,
Right.
okay.
Right.
"That," and having that kind of flexibility to seeing what kind of um actor can bring your story and elevate it, and it really did. So I think not being specific or being specific but not being picky to how your story can go.
Mm,
I think also um being open to the diversity in your characters because I think once we casted people, like I said, I let the character go once I gave it to you.
Mhm.
And seeing what ideas they have for it and also asking them, do you think that this is authentic to you? Is this
mm,
something that your character would say? And collaborating like that makes them feel like their opinions and what they crafted feels valued. Um, and I would say it's you should think about your marketing and distribution and pre-production.
Come
Um,
on.
what do
Come
you
on.
like? Who do you want to see this project? Because I think that a lot of projects die in the film festival circuit.
mm,
And once you're done, and obviously the festival circuit is very expensive. They have specific rules of we don't want to see projects past this point.
Mhm.
So you should really prepare what you want to do with it outside of a festival circuit if it can make you money, what distribution is realistic, and talking to people who can help distribute it in your pre-production before you start anything because we're not just this isn't a hobby. Um, it's not something that has the adequate funding for, but how can we get it funded? Um, I would say that's my advice.
mm.
Yeah. That's some really good advice.
Solid.
Because
Solid.
Nay and I were talking about this the other day. It's understanding marketing, post and marketing
Yeah.
in development and pre-production.
Yes.
Hmm.
Like you need to build all of that, actively looking at it and building that in
Yeah.
pre-production.
And
Yeah.
I don't think enough people know it.
From conception to completion doesn't stop at the film is done.
Yeah.
No, you got to get it out there. You have to have that plan ahead of time. Love that. Love
Yeah.
Yeah.
that.
I think like
Um,
exploring what that means of like I don't think enough people know what okay, marketing means like the festivals and then going to the festivals. It's a lot more than
it's a
that.
whole lot more than
Yeah.
that, right? And there's so
Yeah.
many different avenues that you can go that aren't as expensive as the festivals and everything. And then after those festivals are over, what now? So you're sitting on
Hmm.
a body of work, like, yeah. So really good conversations to have in pre-production. So one more question, DC, what is next for Destiny? What's next for WANO Studios?
So we are in pre-production for a different project. Our projects have really focused on not traumatizing audiences and really being informative to the content that we incorporate,
Mm,
which is something that is I'm really passionate about,
Mhm.
um, and diversifying the way that we see Black people on screen. We're in pre-production for a project called Lost Currents, which is reimagining the relationship between Black people and the ocean, and not just associating Black people on sea to slavery.
mhm,
So that's a project that we're in pre-production for. We're still in post-production, or we're done with the post-production for You Were Dead Yesterday and looking at distribution options, whether that's Quelly TV, whether that's like other streaming platforms, but making it Black centered.
mhm,
Um, and we are really open and collaborative to live production. So we finished a live production with 6ABC WPBI TV, and that ended up on Hulu and Disney Plus. And we're also working with them again this coming month. So there's a lot of things that we're managing
amazing.
at the same time. Luckily, like having those kind of conversations with Hulu is something that I've never done before, but being
Mm,
able to be in the room for that has definitely changed the landscape of how I see distribution for sure.
Hmm. 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 And
wonderful.
it's great that it's removed you from the box because sometimes,
Hmm.
especially being in Philadelphia, we tend to think like this is it, right?
Hmm.
This is where the manna is, and it's not necessarily the case, right?
Hmm.
Being
Yeah.
outside of this pond, right? Into that bigger ocean. All right, so we're gonna go into the quick fire round,
Oh, pew
girlfriend.
pew.
Um, let me get my timer out. And
Wow, really?
yeah, because it's supposed to be one
Legit,
minute. Yeah.
legit timer. Okay.
Hmm.
Wait, okay, let me stay on my P's and Q's.
Right.
Like, let
I
me get
don't
ready. Let me
I
get
don't
ready.
and I don't know why I took off my Apple Watch to do this, but here we go. All right. So we have 1 minute.
Okay.
And we are going to, well, I guess you want me to we're just
Yeah,
going to fire off these
do it.
questions. So I
Yep.
am going to fire off questions and I have a minute to do it.
Okay.
And you got a minute to answer. So,
Oh, I feel like I'm gonna
um,
stay on my
How long?
Q's.
How long does she have, Nat?
a minute,
Okay.
60 seconds. All
Just
right.
making sure.
Ready, get set, and okay. So, what is the film that you never get tired of?
Norbit. I never get tired of
On
it.
on set must have.
Script supervisor.
Mm.
Oh, okay. One word to describe your creative style.
Contemporary.
Hmm. Dream actor you'd love to direct,
Nikki Bahari.
Oh, yes.
and dream actor you'd love to work with.
Cole Domingo.
Hmm.
Mm.
And what makes you feel powerful?
Seeing Black people in unconventional spaces.
Come on. Bam. 5 seconds to spare. Amazing.
Felt like it was Family Feud, y'all.
Yup, right?
Like, oh yes. Oh yeah. You felt that. You felt that intensity.
Yeah, I'm like, wait, who?
20 seconds on the clock. Yes.
Yo, I should have been on Family Feud at least twice now. I've been so ready for Steve.
Steve Harvey.
Yes.
Excellent. Um, his daughter, I don't know if you catch her YouTube, Vault Empowers.
No.
Oh yeah.
She has great conversations.
She's
What is it called?
Great.
Vault and
Amazing.
Vault
Powers.
Hmm.
Empowers. And she also has this TED Talk on intentional listening. She's
Hmm.
she's yeah, she's like amazing in her own right. So
Okay.
Vault Empowers, definitely check her out. So this was great. Like
This was fantastic, Destiny. Thank you
Oh,
so
thank you for
much
having me.
for
your
spending time with
story,
us. Yeah.
journey. Oh my gosh. And also thank you for the opportunity that I got to like shadow you and as you like stepped on this directing journey, like
No, I appreciate you, Annette, because Annette was super professional and like emailing me like, "Hey, I want to be a part." I'm like, "Annette, I see you every day. You could have just told me then. I would absolutely love to have you." But
And she's
it was
like, no, no,
really
no, no,
great.
no. I need to put, yeah,
I
yeah,
appreciate it
best foot
though.
forward.
yeah.
I appreciate it, and we were able to create a really great project.
Yeah, amazing. And I cannot wait to see it. I am so
Mhm.
super proud of you and just knowing that, oh my God, that's my girl. That's my home girl. Like you are doing amazing, amazing
Yeah.
things. And the universe is the limit, right? Because the universe is ongoing. So there is no stopping you. And I look forward to the time when Girl Code Media and WANO can collaborate on something
Oh,
amazing.
that's already in the
Absolutely.
works.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's already in the air.
yeah,
That's already in the works.
yeah, it's going
It's
to be
gonna
going
happen.
to be awesome. So,
Yeah.
before we let you go, sis,
Mhm.
please tell people where they can find you and WANO Studios.
So you can find me on Instagram, Destiny Cox, excuse me, Destiny J Cox. I also have an Instagram for our production company. It's WANO Studios LLC. We also have our website, which is wanostudios.com, WANO studios.com. And we are going to be running the circuit and also going to be running distribution. So you could also find me on those channels once we secure a distribution channel, but I'll of course let you guys know.
Destiny, random, but
Mhm.
important. What does WANO stand for, or what does it mean?
WANO stands for Where Art Needs Opportunity,
Mm,
where, of
girl.
course, the struggle for filmmakers, independent filmmakers, especially Black independent filmmakers, is funding. So we're advocating for funding artists of color and funding especially Black artists who are independent filmmakers.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, like it's just
Wow.
absolutely, yeah.
Thank
So,
you.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for
love
having me.
you, girl. Love you. Thank you so much. And we'll be talking to you soon.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you so
See you,
much. Thank you,
Destiny.
Naomi. Thank you, Annette.
Bye, girl. Woo!
Girl, amazing. Amazing. Let me say it one more time. Amazing.
Just oh my God, her boldness,
Yeah.
her vision. Oh my goodness.
Yes. What else? What's left to say?
I,
Like and subscribe.
if you enjoyed this conversation, don't forget to subscribe to the
Yes.
Girl Code Media
Yes.
YouTube channel. Help us
Yes.
grow. We've got more dynamic Black women in media definitely coming your way. Um, and we're not really, I think every week, we're trying to do this every week, intentionally, not trying. We are going to
Intentional.
bring you
Yes.
conversations every week. Um, yeah. Anything?
Yeah. So if you are a filmmaker, crew member, storyteller, a creative in this space, and you would like to be a part of the series, please reach out to us at contact at girlcodemedia.com.
All right. Until
Yes.
next time.
Until next time.
Yeah.